Good day, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you guys here. We got Kevin and Scott and Dark Fury, Christian. Looking good. So, played around a little bit since the last stream failure. I haven't been running anything new, so I'm not sure what caused it. Made sure everything was updated, checked a few settings, but hopefully this works and it doesn't decide it's going to conk out on us again. But looks like we're getting good to go. We'll take a quick little look around. See who else is around here. I got a couple over here. Oki. Oh, there's Oki, yeah. Hi, Oki. And Dark Fury there and his United, and you can see the other one down there. Accordion Sneeze. That must be that you, Scott? Down there at the end. So it looks like 5 of us so far today. Alright, so let's hop on board. We can start getting ourselves all set up and ready to go. Alright. So as usual, we have our regular flight crew of First Officer Roger and Flight Engineer Fred. What we will do is we'll get the wheel chocks pulled and we will get everyone to start loading onto the aircraft. Yeah, your accordion sneeze. We'll keep it on you, Scott, and we'll check what your livery looks like when you get a little bit closer. I'm seeing Dark is United again, but you're something different, so you might be in the Everett's Air Cargo. Okay, so a couple things we got to do. First of all, fuel load. We have 7,216 pounds of fuel required. So let's go in and we will get that put in. 7216. Bang on. So we are good there, almost 2,000 pounds per. And for our passengers, we have 14,720 by 230, 64 passengers, almost a full flight. So we'll crank that up. And there we go, 64 passengers on board. See our gross weight, we're 86. So we're getting heavy, but we're still not up to the wet takeoff requirements. So we are good there. So that's payload and fueling set up. And everyone is getting on board. We'll do a quick take a look at the route. They don't want to start any of the setup because as soon as they do that, they close the doors and it kind of short circuits the people coming in. So it's kind of a zigzag route. We're heading north. We're going to leave Stuttgart. We're heading on the runway 25. So we're going to be heading to the west. We'll make a right turn out and head up to the first VOR. And we're just going to fly to the east of Frankfurt and up and around the west of Kessel, over by Paderborn and Osnabrück, and then up to Bremen. Now I'm planning on the ILS for runway 27, and if we look at that, we're going to fly over the BMN VOR, and then we're going to come out and we're going to do the larger of the loops here, and that will take us around and in on the ILS to land at Bremen. So we're going to be at the BMN VOR at 3,000 feet. So our cruise altitude for today is 12,000, which means we're going to have to descend 9,000 feet. So 9 times 5 is 40, plus 30 miles for leveling out is 70 miles. Now the elevation at Bremen is 14 feet, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to want 70 miles out for our descent. And in order to get that, that is going to put us about 18 miles out from the OSB VOR. Hi, Talia. Oh, nice to see you here. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope everything is well. So, about 18 miles out from OSB, we're going to begin our descent.
On behalf of the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight. As you find your seat, be sure to place your large carry-on items in overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. If you have trouble finding a location for any of your carry-on items, please use the flight attendant call button over your seat. Somebody will.
So when we're ready to go, we're going to be heading off to the left and taxiing down to the end on the runway.
Also be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down.
Now I know that when we all came in, and actually you can see it there, we got a bit of the ski jump at the end there, which was kind of interesting. So we may go off on taxiway Bravo rather than Alpha, because I think Alpha actually goes up the hill there, which is rather annoying.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
Yeah, I did see you in Gavin's Discord occasionally, but it's good to see you. And yes, Christian's heading home. We're heading to his hometown on this one. Are you going to make a heading VOR overlay again? Did they make a heading VOR overlay? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I think we can now pull in the stairs for us. There they are. Might be a Willie stream. I mean, I'll tell you what my headings are as I enter them in. That's not a problem. So we'll get that front door closed. It's a nice day here at Stuttgart. It's 21 degrees. Get the window open. And our altimeter setting is 1019 currently. And we are running the live weather. So valve 1019. There we go. And we will set Rogers the same. It's just about 1300. There we go. And one last thing we can set, since we are going up to 12,000 feet, we'll go over here and we're going to set the pressurization to 12,000. There we go. That is now set. Turn on the ground power. Let's see if this will turn on the radios. Let's turn the inverters on. Give me radios.
We're on your time now.
No, but that's fine. Everybody's now on board. Get the cargo holds closed. Pull the stairs. Close the back door. And we can start getting set up.
Cockpit pre-flight.
There's our power.
Our flight time will be roughly
that's not
1
what I want.
hour and 25 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and the large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables
better.
and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew secure doors for departure.
So,
Pressurization.
our first VOR.
Set. Manifold and duct
From
pressure.
the airport, it's 300 degrees, but since we're going to be taking off and tuning into it a little bit later, it'll be a little bit off that. But the first VOR is 115.95. We'll dial that in.
Doors and hatches.
There we go. The second VOR we're going to want is 115.35. Dr. Magic, good to see you.
Door warning lights. Out.
There we go, 115.35.
Removed.
So that is now in our standby.
Adjusted.
And just for our own reference, the ILS frequency is 110.9.
Set to idle.
So we're going to put this in here. There we go.
Forward and
And that is on VOR number 2. So as I said, it's going to be roughly 300 degrees.
before start checks complete.
So we'll dial it over to 300 just to give us a rough, pretty much rough, okay, we're almost ready to go on that heading. And it's time to start. So, get the mixture up. Everything is set here. Selector is on 3. Boost pumps are set to low. Ignition is on both. So we'll start cranking.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Boost prime. There you go. We got manifold pressure. We have RPM. We have fuel pressure. Oil pressure's coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this Royal Canadian Air Force Douglas DC-6
There's the
aircraft.
switches are off, so
On
we'll
behalf
go
of the
over
crew,
to
I ask that you please direct your attention
engine
to the
4.
cabin attendants as we review the emergency procedures. There are 9 emergency exits on this aircraft, 5 on the left and 4 on the right.
turn the
Take a minute to
ignition
locate
over.
the exit closest
Boost
to you.
pumps are on.
Note that the nearest exit may be behind
Selector
you.
is
Count
on
the number
engine
of rows to
4.
this exit. Should the cabin
And
experience sudden
cranking.
pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose, like this. Pull the strap to tighten it. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on items behind. In the event of a water landing, life vests are located.
Engine 4
below
is
your
started.
seats
We have
and
oil
emergency
pressure. We
lighting
have
will
fuel
lead you to the
pressure.
closest exit and slide. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight.
RPMs and
Smoking
manifold
is only
pressure.
permitted when the no smoking sign is out. While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety data card in the seat pocket in front of you.
I'm going to bring the throttles down just so we're not shaking.
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à bord de cet avion douglas DC-6 de l'aviation royale canadienne.
Engine number 2.
Au nom de l'équipage, je
Mags
vous
are
demande
on.
de porter
Engine
votre attention
selector is
sur les
over
agents
to
de
2.
bord pendant que nous examinons les
Boost
procédures
on
d'urgence.
low.
Il y a 9 sorties de secours sur cet avion, 5 à gauche
Cranking.
et 4 à droite. Prenez une minute pour localiser la sortie la plus proche de chez vous. Notez que la sortie la plus proche peut être derrière vous. Comptez le nombre de lignes jusqu'à cette sortie. Si la cabine subit une perte de pression soudaine,
So we have a good
restez
start.
calme et écoutez les instructions du
RPM's
personnel
up.
de cabine. Les masques à oxygène tomberont du dessus de votre siège. Placez le masque sur votre bouche et votre nez.
Manifold
comme ceci.
pressures, T's
Tirez
and
sur la
P's.
sangle pour la serrer. Dans le cas peu probable d'un atterrissage d'urgence et d'une évacuation, laissez vos bagages à main derrière vous. En cas
And engine
d'atterrissage,
number 1.
les gilets de sauvetage sont situés sous vos sièges et un éclairage de secours vous mènera à votre sortie et toboggan les plus proches.
Mags on
Nous
both.
demandons de vous
Engine
assurer que
selector to
tous les
1.
bagages à main sont rangés en toute sécurité
Boost
pendant le
to
vol.
low.
Fumer n'est autorisé que lorsque
Mixture
le
is
panneau
auto
d'interdiction
rich.
de fumer est éteint. Pendant que nous attendons le décollage, veuillez prendre un moment pour examiner la
so what I
carte
want.
de données de sécurité dans la poche du siège devant vous. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
And cranking on number 1.
3, 6, 9, 12.
There we go. So it looks like we have a good start on all 4 engines. And waiting for the last switches to kick down. Le Baguette. Oui. Le Baguette is beautiful. Alright. So that is the before start, after start checklist.
Start selected, boost pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery.
Thanks, Talia.
Generators.
Yeah, I found it on flightsim.to. Figured it was appropriate.
Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Alright, so looks like we're up and running. We are clear. So we're going to taxi down Sierra. This is this one here. Dark, if you want to get moving, we'll come in behind you. And we're going to taxi all the way down. And like I said, we'll probably go to Bravo just because of that weird hill we've got there at the far end. So parking brake will come off. And we're going to start the taxi out. A little bit bumpy out here. Give it a little bit of power. Yeah, we're heading down to taxiway here. I think we're on Sierra. Maybe we're on November. Kind of hard to tell with some of these markings here. Yoke's there in his King Air by the looks of it. Yeah, my stream on Sunday got kind of hammered by a crash, both OBS and then when I tried to restart the sim crashed, so not sure what happened there. I'm hoping for good things today. Yeah, we're on November. That's fine. You can keep going, Kevin. It's all good. Let's get the before start takeoff done. Or before takeoff done.
Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Autopilot and carb heat.
Some interesting glitches here on the airport.
Off and cold. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
Looks like
Flaps set 20.
Kevin just disappeared. Hi, Eastbirds. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Doing good.
Controls. Gas block released.
Hoping for better results than on Sunday's stream, but we'll see how it goes.
On. Mixture and cowl flaps.
A little bit of power.
Set. Transponder.
I can't wait till they do the update for Germany, fix some of the terrain issues and stuff. There's that terrain glitch I just rumped over there.
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
And you can see the ski jump there at the end of the runway. I checked on flightsim.to. There is no Stuttgart airport. I did download the one that Christian sent out for Bremen. So we'll see how that does. You're gonna go all the way to A? Okay. Yeah, Eastbirds, we're gonna have to set a new date to do our Tokyo flight. But it seems to be working better now. I turned down the LOD to 2 for terrain and objects in the config file. It seems to be a little nicer for me. But it's nice to be flying this in 4K native while still being able to stream. Yeah, you're not the only one, Dirk. I've seen a couple other streamers mention the screen tears. I think Jeff Fabiano mentioned it, and somebody else I was watching mentioned it as well. There's that. Yeah, that's the train. A lot of train issues here. Oh, it looks like we might be able to do Alpha. So we're all set to go. Flaps are 20, lights are down. Engines are, temperatures are up, oil temperatures are up, so that's good. Yeah. I find I usually see people floating when we're parked. I mean, Accordion's in front of me now, and he seems to be okay. Dark looks okay where he is. I know, Christian, you were parked beside me, and I saw you floating. That'll do it. I'm wondering if I got conflict between my graphics card and the sim. I don't know enough to be able to fine-tune them both to get them working properly together. I really should, because this is the only... Oh! Got another RCAF airplane in front of me. Really should be able to, since it's the only game I run on this machine, so... It'd be nice to be able to run with them optimized for each other. So it looks like the taxiway comes out right before the ski jump. Oh, he's waiting down there for us. Here's the 4 DC-6s. Okay, Eastbirds, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so parking brake is on. We're going to take a quick pop-up over here. no, it's this one I want. So like I said, we're about 80,000 pounds, so we're going to be using the 80,000 pound line. So our rotation speed, because the airport elevation here at Stuttgart is 12,700, or yeah, 1,276. That means we're within between sea level and 2,000. So it's V1 of 83, and then a rotation speed of 101 is what we're going to be looking for. So 101 knots we will rotate. There goes start. Gonna move right up to the stop line there. I can see you. I can see everybody else. Unfortunately, that happens a lot, apparently, Oki. I know Wayne's been reporting it, that there's some issues with multiplayer people showing up. Take a look. There is nobody inbound that I can see. So once Accordion Sneeze starts off down the runway, we will line up as well. If anybody knows a trick in getting rid of the little drop-down menu 2-bar white line with the down arrow thing at the top of the screen, let me know. It's hidden behind the overlay right now, but man, it's a pain when that overlay is not up and I can't get rid of that. Alright, let's move out. Got a good position here. Well, that's true, you spurts. And besides, I thought you were going to make some food. Which is actually kind of rather late for you to be doing that, isn't it? Unless you just got in or something. Alright. So, brakes are on. And let's have a dry takeoff, please.
30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
So we'll rotate at 101. We'll pull back, get the climb rate down to about 120, then slowly ease her down to pick up the speed till eventually we're at 160.
Stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
Engines are full power. Ooh, that sounds good, these birds.
Full power set.
Brakes are released. We'll begin our right turn when we reach about 2,000 feet or so. Airspeed's live. $80 knots. V1. Rotate.
Gear up.
Okay, bring the speed back to about climbing at 200. Gears in transition.
Gear up, lights out.
Gears up, so we're going to bring her down to about 130. So nose coming down. It's 2,000 feet. Turn to heading 300.
Flaps up. Flaps going up.
Flaps are coming up. She's going to want to sink down a little bit, nose down a bit more. It's 300. The nose come down.
Meter power. Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2600 RPM.
Turn the dial here. So there we go. There's the radial we're on, about the 305 radial.
Meter power set. Climb power. Setting climb power.
Switch into climb power. Turn on the auto. There we go. Just leave it in gyro mode. We're heading towards the VOR now. So
Climb power
good.
set.
Alright.
Takeoff checklist, please.
So we're going to roll down, get our speed up to 165 for the climb.
After takeoff checks complete.
27 miles to the first turn. It's 4,000 feet. We got some nice views. Well, I'll view the engine anyway. There's goodbye Stuttgart. Speed's getting a little high, so we will give it a notch of back scroll on the gyro adjustment. Kevin, I like the fact when you're flying the Spidiki that when you put the gear up, only the mains go up. It leaves you with your nose wheel extended, which is kind of funny. So we got 22 miles to go. See some cloud to the north, which is where we're headed. We're heading up to kind of more the flatter area of central and northern Germany. That's the A8 highway we're kind of following along here. And the first VOR is outside the town of Witztal. Keep an eye, 7,000 feet. Weather for Stuttgart was ceiling and visibility okay, so the weather is matching what it should be. Outside air temperature is below 10 degrees. So on our windshield heating on the 0 to 10 range. Yeah, I'm sure it's something to do in the sim, the way it's passing information back and forth. It kind of has to be. It's 8,000 feet. Alright, speed's down to 160, so we'll go with 2 notches forward. So how many of you guys took part in Gavin's GA flight on was it Friday? Friday evening. How was it? I'll try to well, I don't know when I'm going to be able to hit it if something's come up for this Friday, but... Dude, I can see your gear sticking out. Nice one, Eastwards. Christian, cruise altitude is 12,000 feet. I don't know, Kevin, if you can see, you just disappeared for me. So, you're popping, people are popping in and out in the multiplayer thing. I'm sure Sobo's still getting an earful about all this type of stuff that's going on. Yesterday, Sunday. Right, okay. Sorry. You could get lost in my days sometimes. So the next heading we're going to want is going to be 13 degrees. So I'm just going to do this now. Dial in 13. Whoop. Dial in 13 degrees since I'm not really following the radio. I'm just kind of going towards the VOR. It's 11,000, 10 miles out. Scott, in the traffic setting and the general options, there's display name tags. That's where you turn them on. Alright, so we're coming up for 12,000. Slowly going to start easing off on our vertical speed. Slower descent rate. So we can do a nice capture of altitude. There's 12,000. Yeah, okay, like I said, there's some problems with people popping in and out and stuff. It's an Asobo issue for sure. Alright, so we are level. Outside air temperature is below 0. So we'll flick our heating over to 0 to minus 40. Airspeed's coming up. We are a little high. We can deal with that. We'll roll that down slightly. It is hard to get it precise. Good enough. We'll lock that in. And
power
cruise checklist.
Setting cruise power.
3 miles out to the VOR. And there's it bouncing around. It never did that on the first iteration of this. I'm not sure why she's suddenly getting all bouncy.
Cruise power is set.
Cruise power is set. We're going by the VOR. So what I'm going to do is cycle in the next one.
Cruise checks are complete.
115.35. It's 57 miles away. And we're going to go into localizer mode. And we're now making the turn out towards our next one. So we will come up here and dial in FUL, which is 112.1. Yeah, no problem, Scott. Stop moving around like that. 112.1. So now we're gonna fly to intercept the radio. As I mentioned, we're going to pass to the east of Heidelberg. Heidelberg is an interesting place because apparently, and Christian, you can confirm this, it was not or very little bombed during the Second World War. So a lot of the historic buildings are still there. So if you want to see what like the historic cities of Germany look like in the 1800s, Heidelberg is the place to go, basically. Well, you're not that far back, Scott, so it's pretty good. So another one of these places on my bucket list. The next VOR is 112.1. It's the FUL VOR. The Fulda. Fulda VOR. There we go. We're turning onto the VOR now. Again, we're out over the flatter areas of Germany, a lot of farm country. A lot of rivers. The Rhine River's just to the west of us. And we are going to be flying up past, well, we'll be off in the distance with Frankfurt as we head north. That's all good, so you can go down now. There's the train we're heading over. There we go, you see Christian, OP, and Scott back there. And somewhere out here are Dark and Kevin, but they just disappeared again. are. Again, we're just following the radial into the beacon. Oh, Mighty Mackerel just popped in. Starting to see some low cloud. And we're 38 miles out from the next VOR. That being the Charlie VOR. So the town of Heidelberg I believe is somewhere around here. Either here or over here, but it's right on the edge of these hills. Looks very nice. For some reason it looks like we got snow up here. It's okay, Christian, we're doing the ILS approach, so I mean, if you're flying on live weather too, I mean, well, I did say we were rolling the time back. This is one of the longer legs on this circuit that we'll be doing. I think it was 200 and, well, let me check Simbrief. Sorry, 331 miles, so fair distance. Yeah, Heidelberg's on my list of places to go in Germany. I've driven around a little bit, driven through the Black Forest. I spent a little 4 or 5 days in the Munich area and south down in southern Bavaria. But really haven't seen much more of Germany than that. I do want to get back over. Well, it'd be great for GA flying, but I'm not going to see much from up here. Also, just further back on the other side of the Rhine River is Mannheim. I believe that's where the big U.S. air base is. Just keeping an eye on that outside temperature, see if we had any temperature issues. Is looking very good so far. Yeah, Ramstein Air Base. That's the that's another big. No, I think that's the one I was thinking of. The air base. I'm wondering where Wayne is tonight. It's not like him. Usually he's in here tormenting Nightbot. Miles out from the next VOR, which is located just outside the town of Grossestein. Yeah, Christian, you got my apologies for all my bad pronunciation. We're going to be crossing the main river. Offenbach and Frankfurt are the big towns around here that are on it. So that will come after the next VOR. Censoring all this chat. Yeah, could be. Sure, Nightbot is feeling pretty relaxed right now. So we pop over here for a second. You can see on the pressurization system that it is not showing a change up or down in the cabin right now. There's a pressure differential of about 430 feet. And we have a simulated atmosphere of just over 2,000 feet inside the airplane, or simulated pressure. So a pressure differential is for ascending and descending as it changes. Well, I have a hard enough pronouncing English, so you know, pronouncing another language is even worse. Okay, 6.6 miles to go. So we're going to go back to gyro pilot mode, lock it in this heading. The next heading we're going to want is 24 degrees. We're going to dial in 24 degrees. We're now within 5 miles, so we'll come up, we'll switch over to 112.1. We'll dial in the next one for the WRB VOR, and that's going to be 113.7. So next VOR is 47 miles away, and we're pretty much on the radial now. So what we can do is just switch over to localize. You can see it's slowly drifting off as we pass by, since we're not directly pointed towards it. But we'll switch over to localizer mode, and we can turn on to the radio. About 45-mile leg here. We'll be passing such well-known places as Wachtsterbach, Bad Sohn-Salmonster, Friensteinau, and we'll be making our turn just outside of Grossenluder, up by Fulda. Interesting point. Fulda is the area where the well-known Fulda Gap is located. And the Fulda Gap was a low level and natural depressions in the terrain that it was thought the Russian army would storm in from East Germany into West Germany. And it's where the Canadian troops were based, and that was our area of operations for whatever 40 years. No one in America can pronounce my German last name. Schodl? Is that how you pronounce it? Am I close? Shouldn't you have, or maybe, I don't know. Would you put a umlaut over the O? I'd pronounce it Schodl. You can let me know how close I am. Yeah, a little bit of rocking back and forth as we settle down onto the VOR. Shadle? Really? I would not have guessed that. Everything up here. We're all good. Fuel is looking good on all the engines. Little airstrip on a hillside. Oh, one of those adventurous places to fly into. Wonderful. Alright, Fred's monitoring everything, which is good. Dark's disappeared. Martin Mackerel's popping in and out, but he's here right now. I haven't seen the message come up in chat saying, oh, had a crash or whatever, so I'm assuming Dark's doing fine out there. It's a little dark in here. Let's, if we turn on the white lights, does that help? Nah, it doesn't really help. They removed it? Yeah. I can see that happening after a generation or two in America. Oh, Dark's behind us. How'd that happen? Be a little bit bumpy on the flight. The weather is looking very nice. I love that all my passengers are very satisfied right now. Not like they have much of a choice. Yeah, Dark, I just noticed that. I don't know how that happened. Well, Mackerel's out there in front of me somewhere. He keeps popping in and out. Yeah, but you there, Christian. I know what that double S symbol means, so I can recognize that one. But yeah, I understand it would confuse other people. weather doesn't look as calm as it is. There's a lot of up and down turbulence here. So we're just passing right there the little town of Steinau-Anderstrasse. Very interesting. Well, I can see your name, Christian, so we do see you back there. Alright, we're 14 miles roughly from the next VOR. Again, that being the Fulda VOR. We're heading off from there to the Varberg VOR, 113.7. So as per normal, when using the gyro pilot 5 miles out, we'll switch over to gyro pilot mode. We'll then switch over and dial in the radio. And then when we cross the radio, we will engage localizer and fly off on the new heading. Mighty Mackerel is out there trailblazing, leading the way. So now that we've done a few flights in the DC-6, how are you guys liking it? I enjoy it. I think it's a fun airplane to fly. And I am looking forward to doing the longer flights and taking this thing around the world. Seven miles to go. So we'll go into gyro mode. We'll switch VORs. We're going to want a heading now of 340. So we can come down and dial in 340 into the OBS, which is the Omni bearing selector. There's 340. See, that's the radio we're going to be looking for as we get closer. And while we're waiting, we'll tune in the next one, which is going to be 108.35. 108.35. And once that comes in, we will engage localizer and head off on the new heading. Around the world flight, Dark Fury. I've got it pretty much planned out now where we're going. We're going to fly from San Francisco to New York the other way around, and it is an actual route that Pan Am used to fly in the DC-6, so should be a lot of fun. You can see we're coming in on the selector, or the bearing, so we'll go to localizer mode, and off we go. 57 miles to that VOR. Mackerel already made the turn. Transatlantic would be interesting. It'd be nice if somebody did a mod and put VOR beacon ships out there in the Atlantic. So where are we going on this leg? Well, A lot of stuff out in the country. The nearest town we're going to fly, and we're going to be about 10 to 12 miles west of, is Kassel. And then you've got Warburg is where the VOR is, and where we're going to make our next turn as we head to the Osnabrück VOR. And of course, that one is a TACAN. I'm not sure if that's going to give us DME, but 18 miles out from that one is where we're going to start our descent down to 3,000 feet. There we are. We're just lining up on the VOR now. As we head well, pretty much north. Slightly west of north. Dart catching up. Kevin, I assume that you flew transatlantic. Did you go direct, or did you stop, do the Iceland, Greenland hopping? Looking very nice. Got the sun on this side, yeah. A little bit of DC-6 formation flying going on here. Shannon, Halifax. So that was what, about... Well, you're going to be going into the wind too, so 10 hours, 11 hours to do that flight. I think Dark's right underneath us and he's fading in and out. .41 miles. It'll be the OSB VOR, Christian, after WRB. And after OSB, which is a TACAN, then we're going to head to BMN. Yeah, I can see what you're saying about the brightness out there. It's certainly looking pretty washed out. It's too bright. $16 hours from Tegel? Yeah, that sounds about right. It's almost double what the airliners do. So if it's a 2-hour A320 flight, it'll be about a 4-hour DC-6 flight. Oh, there's Dark. Popped in up there. $37 miles. Descent will be 18 miles from OSB. So you want to be at BMN at 3,000 feet, and then it's a teardrop entry on a left-hand circuit into the ILS for runway 27. You're very welcome. Really? Let's take a look and see what the live weather is showing. That's interesting, and it's now not showing anything. Let me see. I'm showing 320 at 9. Ah, Christian, you posted a MEDAR? Yeah, it won't let you post all caps. This is what I just pulled up. So you're right. 150 at 10. In that case, let's see what options we have. So we're going to do the ILS Zulu for runway 09. So it's going to be the same thing, 3,000 feet for BMN, but it's going to be a left-hand turn, and it's going to be a right-hand loop for the ILS runway 09. You're going to do the VOR? Yeah. Have fun. We're starting to see clouds close in, so that's why I'm kind of going to do this. So you're on the route. I'm going to get rid of this one. And what did I say it was? 110.3. So 110.3. Now entered in. Just for my reference. We are 17 miles out from the next VOR. And everything is looking good. Yeah, pretty much. So, light thunderstorms and rain. Well, we haven't had any really bad weather on this approach yet, so, or on these flights yet, so it'll be interesting. Nice to get a little bit of variety going. can go to the window seats. We look out, you see the cloud building up. Yeah, I can't imagine sitting beside two of these radial engines just buzzing away for hours on end. Makes me wonder how well insulated the interior of the airplane was. No, it can't be sunny all the time, Christian. Trees and plants need water. Alright, 7 miles out, so we're going to go back over to Gyropilot. I'm going to tune in the TACAN on 108.35. We're going to want a heading of 323. The radial 323 radial. There we go. And the next frequency is the Bremen VOR on 117.45. There we go. And we have 110.3 in nav2 for that needle. It will give us the indication when it flips on that we're in range. So we're almost right on the mark. Although we have no VOR at the moment. It's just this. It's just giving us a distance. It's not actually picking anything up. But we know the heading we want, which is 323, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to now tune to heading 323. Ooh. Turn to 323. Farther, we'll ease her back. There's 320. Be right there. Sorry, apparently there's a VOR on 114.3. Pull out my charts. Yeah, 114.3, so we'll dial that one in. And we'll punch that over. radial that we're on, since we are going to be slightly off. Dial in. No, that's not giving us distance. So we're going to have to watch that, because we do have to start our descent 18 miles out. So I know roughly where that's going to be. Just going to keep an eye on it. So as we come in and we get ready, once again, we're currently heading up this way towards the VOR. We're going to make the turn and head directly to the airport, where we're going to fly to the BMN VOR, and there's actually 2 beacons here. And then we're going to make a left turn at 248 degrees, fly out, loop around, intercept the ILS, and then come on in this way. So it'll give us a nice right-hand turn in and around to come in and intercept the ILS. So we want to be 3,000 feet when we hit the airport, and then we're going to fly out at that altitude. So 3,000 feet is good. Now, as Christian said, what we can do is we can come over here and we can put that TACAN frequency in again, 108.35 in nav2 at the moment. Cycle that around, switch this over to nav2. That's giving us our distance to the TACAN and our heading and track to the VOR, and both are located at the same facility, so it works that way. Wayne, good to see ya. We were talking about you earlier. Yeah, that's the bad thing, is the VORs and NDBs being deactivated. It's definitely going to take away some of the fun and some of the interesting navigation you can do. It's all going either visual or GPS based. Now, Scott, we won't be laughing. We've all been there. Alright, so we are 29.5 miles out, which puts us at 11.5 miles out from our top of descent. Now I'm going to assume Kevin's still in front of us, since I don't see him. But he has been the entire trip so far. Again, we're in the flat country here, so it's pretty well. 18 nautical miles is what I calculated for me. Alright, so I got you 3 guys behind me, and the other 2 somewhere out in front. Yeah, I've got it worked out for 70, but whatever you're comfortable with. I like a nice long period of time to get slowed down. If you can do it in 60 miles, then hey, that's great news. All right, 5 miles to go. As I said, we're flying into Bremen. So sure, Wayne can fill us in on the Kriegsmarine links with Bremen and the submarine pens where they emptied out from Bremerhaven into the North Sea. A lot of submarine history out this way. Yeah, no problem, Wayne. There we go, 19 and a half, so 1.5 miles to starting our descent. Just coming up on the town of Bielefeld. Yeah, that's one way you can do it. So there we are, we're through 18 miles. So we're going to start our descent. So altitude hold comes off. And we're going to nose down to 1,000 foot per minute descent. Nice coastal town there. So as the airspeed builds, she's going to want to flatten your descent, so you got to keep nudging the wheel forward. Keep that rate of descent up at 1,000 feet per minute. We'll get up to about 235, 240 knots on the descent. You don't want to let it get too steep. And then when we hit 1,000 feet per minute, that's when I will do my descent checks. We're starting downwards. And weather's not too bad. Airport is off in this direction, but I'm not seeing the storms that they're talking about. Definitely gonna have to darken up those arrival and departure lettering and go to a darker green. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pop up. We're going to go to the BMN VOR. We're going to, actually before we do that, we're going to go to Gyro Pilot. Flick that over. So that's the BMN VOR. And then we're going to tune in the ILS, which is the 110.3. We're going to come back down here. We're going to want a heading of 16 degrees. 16 degrees. So we will crank that in. We go there. Kick this over to there. We're through 10,000, so we can get our descent checklist going.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches.
And we're now going to make a turn to 16 degrees.
Set. Descent checklist, please. Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked. Seatbelt signs on. On. Engine blowers low. Low. Descent checks are complete.
Now, we are not picking up the VOR. So I'm going to tune in the second VOR, which is here, which are that's right. It's 113.65. See if it picks up on that one. Wow. Alright, so these must be shorter range.
We have begun our final descent to your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time.
745. 110. Stop that. 110.3. It may be a range thing at the moment, and I'm blowing through my heading change, so let's get ourselves sorted out here. $7,000 feet, 1,000 foot per minute descent. It's 30 degrees, 25, 20, 16. We'll see if it doesn't kick in. Yeah, I think it's a shorter range VOR. Probably kick in around 30 or 40 miles out. But we'll see. There's 6,000 feet. Mighty mackerels over there. Dark Fury once again has gotten behind me somehow. Not sure what's going on there, and I don't see anyone else. Very bizarre. There we go. Just kicked in. 37 miles. Go over to localizer. We'll get onto the radio. $2,000 feet to go, and 36 miles to the airport. Speed has come back to 220 knots. 1,500 feet to go. See him popping in and out there. Very annoying. Tracking into the airport. Back on the VOR. 300 feet. Pulling her back. Yeah, Isla should cook in for me in about 10 miles or so. Off. Get her down to a 300 foot per minute descent. 200 and 3,000 feet. Again, wild oscillations should not be happening like that. Alright, 25 miles out.
Cooling turbine. Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On. In-range checks complete.
Did you try posting a MEDAR again, Christian? I mean, I've neutered Nightbot for a lot of things, but all caps is one that's kind of on by default. Speed's coming back. We're down to 185. Kind of bouncing in there. Anti-MEDAR bot, yeah, exactly. Mackerel, you might want to be careful. Apparently there's 5 birds ahead of you. Don't want to have a bird strike. So 318 is the HIG NDB. That's our missed approach. So I'm going to tune in, going the wrong way, aren't I? Yeah, I am. 318. Oh, it's a royal pain. Stop that. See, it doesn't matter if you're moving it or not. It kind of disappears the Stupid thing. Come on, 318. There we go. So that'll give us a direction in case we have to do the missed approach. Because the missed approach is climb straight ahead to the NDB, which I've just dialed in, and to then turn right to the VOR, climbing to 3,000 feet, and then we try it again. And looks like we got a Spitfire just taken off. And I just saw him appear. There's Wayne, taking off out of Bremen. And 318 is entered. Alright, so we are 11 miles out. Do not have the let's flick that over. There we go. The ILS is there active now. Speed is coming down. We're down to about 177. So 5 miles out, we'll start dropping flaps and we'll get ourselves ready to go. Yeah, Christian, I don't like it either, especially when you've got to dial so many clicks through on a gauge like that. It's a bit ridiculous for it to do that. So where did Wayne go? There he is. Got our Spitfire escort coming in. He of the non-spinning prop variety. Must be the new jet Spitfire. So there's the airport ahead of us. Alright, 5.5 miles. A lot of wind farms up here. I guess it is pretty windy, considering how close the North Sea is to here. There he is. Should be able to see him out the window. I don't know why the prop's not spinning. Looks like Oki's making his turn onto the pattern. It'd be nice if we could see him. Alright, 2.6 miles. Let's get some spacing going. So I'm going to start with my flaps. It's 10 degrees. $15 degrees. $20 degrees. And we're going to begin our heading to 248. A 20-degree bank. There's the town. Sports fields. keep an eye on my heading. So we're going to go to 230 until we get back down onto the course we want to be on. That's about there. Start working ourselves into position. Speed's down to 160. There's the airfield. Obviously, it takes time to get this thing around and get it on course. Speed's down to 140. So once again, we're going to be just under 80,000. So if we go up top and we take a look at our chart, 80,000, we're going to have an approach speed of 131. And a landing speed of 101. All right. So 086 degrees is going to be our main entry. Your flaps aren't working? Oh, that's not good. So to help slow you down, you're going to want to power back even more. You're probably going to have to turn off the AFE to get control of the throttles, unless you do your before landing checklist early and get the gear down and help slow you down. But you're going to have to power back on the throttles to get your speed back. You can land. It does have 0 flap landing speeds. I think you're going to want to land at about 110. There goes Dark. Oh, I see Dark's airplane there. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, so let's do a little bit of a turn here. Try to get her back to a 248, or at least a 240. Wayne wouldn't crash. He's an experienced Spitfire driver. Alright, so we're going to switch our nav 1 over to the ILS frequency. See, it's saying we are currently below the glide slope. Which is why we're flying out the way we're flying. You can see it coming up. Still got a bit to go. Another mile or two, and then we're gonna come around in behind Okie there. Not sure who this other guy is. I think he's flying a Piper. No, Wayne's still up there. I see him there. Glide slope is just going ahead of us. Oh, you got it? Okay. Remember, if you're going too fast, you got to watch putting them out. You can go down to flaps 20 above the white arc, but nothing below until you're into that white arc. Alright, so I'm going to turn to a heading of 330. Centered again. Thank you. 330, please. I hate how this thing moves around when you're trying to do things. Get the altitude hold back on. So for the intercept, we're going to want to go to about a 156, 160, or 50 or 60. So for the moment, we'll go to a 0. We can crank it around about 60. And right about there. Speed's coming back. We're down to 130. Alright. Glide slope's moving, localizer's moving, so let's do the before landing checklist.
Setting flaps 20. Flaps set. Mixtures rich, please. Auto
Localizer's coming in. So in approach mode.
Mixtures set. Gear up and down, please. Gear up and down.
Gear is moving. Altitude hold is off.
Gear down and locked. 3 greens. Props. 2400 RPM. 2400 RPM set. Cow flaps. Plus 3 degrees.
I have the airport in sight.
Set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights. Lights extended and on. Carbine. Carbine cold. Set cold. Before landing checks complete.
Alright, so we're down to about 125. So we got a little bit of a crosswind. About 130. Looking good. Alright, flaps coming back. Bring the power up a bit. flaps. Bring her up to flaps 40. Power up. We went about 130. We're between 125, 128, and we want to be landing at 101. And once we're down, it's going to be an exit off to the left. Yeah, we got a little bit of a crosswind here. Outer marker. Again, runway is in sight. Minimums are not an issue. Slight crosswind. A little bit of a crab to the right. Speed's about 128. Thousand feet to go. So much crab. Yeah. Well, it's not as bad when you get closer to the ground. Alright, 2 whites, 2 reds. Alright, speed's increasing, coming back onto power. 130 knots. Trying to control even power, all 4 engines. 500 feet, flaps full. That'll start bringing the speed back as well. It's going to be a slight flare on landing. And then reverse on the prop. Speed's coming back, 115. Power back. 60s as far as you want to go. 110. Middle marker, 108. 105. Autopilot disengaged. Look at that. Bang on the numbers. Engines to idle. Slight flare. Holding. Wheels down. Reversers on. Engines in reverse. Speed down to 40. Throttles to idle. Reversers disengaged.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 11:57 a.m. and it's currently about 50 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile device.
Alright, welcome to Bremen.
Remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have been shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Alright. Gonna head over to the main building here. And start doing our after landing. Scott coming in. Wayne's down. Kristen just landed. There's Okie Dark and Kevin. sure how many parking spots we got up here, but we'll slip in there. Scott, how you doing out there? Looks like you're on your descent, or you're getting ready to, on the final approach. You're right behind me? Yeah. So you guys have switched over to you guys have PMDG liveries now. Now that I can see you again. So Christian, I'll give you the first spot there when you taxi in. See where we're headed. Yeah, but you were showing us something else earlier. I can't remember what it was. You might have even been showing up in my livery. Get her up to the line here. And there we go. So parking brake on. Alright, we can get the window open. Maybe. There we go. Oh, there's that Spitfire. Oh, look, he's, that's an interesting livery. And we'll do the shutdown checklist. Oh, he's running the Israeli markings. Oh, Scott, you missed it on the approach? Oh, there you go. Let's see if we can... There we are. There's the end of the stream picture. Well, Scott, I'm sure I'm sure you'll get used to it, and you're there's that. Okay. You are more than welcome to join us anytime, and we're all good there. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Thanks for flying with us. It was a lot of fun. We will see you in a week when we do the next leg as we fly out of Bremen here. So enjoy, have a good one, and we'll see you on our next stream on Wednesday where we continue our tour of Britain in the general aviation aircraft. That's it for today. Have a good night. Bye for now.